The Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver just released its monthly market update for November of 2025. And the headline reads, the housing market saw a little change as we head towards the end of the year. GVR reports that residential home sales registered in November of 2025 are about 15.5% lower than the home sales registered in 2024. As the year draws to a close, we're continuing to see a story of buyers patiently waiting on the sidelines and sellers having to accept this new reality and adjust their home prices, leading to a market that we have not seen in years. Inventory remains at healthy levels, giving buyers ample choice, which in contrast is leading sellers to continue to adjust their price and accept the new reality in this current market. Buyers and sellers are striking deals where their expectations are aligned and reflective of the current market conditions, not of market conditions in years past. As sales volumes continue to remain subdued and choice remains plentiful for buyers, homes are taking longer to sell and prices are easing across most property types. With borrowing costs likely to remain the same into the new year, any significant change or uptick in the real estate market needs to come from a change in buyer sentiment. As December is one of the slowest months of the year in terms of market activity, prevailing trends show that this will be a quiet close to the end of the year, a year marked by considerable uncertainty. Okay, let's jump into the numbers here a little bit. Let's start with the sales to active listing ratio for each property type. Now, the sales to active listing ratio tells us if we're in a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. So the overall market, that's all property types, currently sits at 12.6% sales to active listing ratio, putting the overall market in balanced market territory, but very, very close to becoming a buyer's market. Anything below 12% is considered a buyer's market. So it's right on the cusp there of becoming a buyer's market. Now let's go into the individual property types. Let's start with detached homes. The sales to active listing ratio for a detached home is 9.7%, putting detached homes in buyer market territory. Next, we'll go to townhomes. Sales to active listing ratio for townhomes is 13.6%, putting townhomes in balanced market territory, but very, very close to becoming a buyer's market. And lastly, apartment homes. Sales to active listing ratio for apartments sits at 14.8%, putting apartment homes in balanced market territory. All right, next let's get into the number of sales and changes in the benchmark price for each property type, starting with detached homes. Sales of detached homes in November of 2025 decreased about 13.6% compared to this time last year. The benchmark price for a detached home currently sits at